1000% better than Bloodline. Not even close. Not. You had one major player in the Bloodline and a bunch of supporting roles. These guys were all freaking superstars. Not even close. I did put the Main Event Mafia together. Kevin Nash named the Main Event Mafia.
Let's jump into topic, one of the topics that we're going to talk about on this evening, and that is Booker T, someone you've worked with very closely, and actually one of my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time.
Love Booker T, man. Love him to death.
Have I ever told you my all-time top 5?
I can name.
Okay, that's actually good. That's actually good. Okay, hold on. Before you do that, what's yours? I never knew yours.
My top 5?
Top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time.
Oh, God, I'd have to think about it.
Okay, just 5 wrestlers who you can think of that's among your favorite.
Well, are you talking about them as wrestlers or
yes, as a wrestling fan?
I knew them though. You know what I mean?
As a wrestling fan, like as a wrestling
Savage
fan.
number 1, no doubt.
Oh, nice. Okay, very nice. I never knew that.
The Valiant Brothers.
Okay, cool choice.
The Big Cat.
Ernie Ladd, baby, yes.
Chief J Strongbow.
Very nice.
And the 3-headed manager.
Okay.
Which would be Albano, Blassie, and the Grand Wizard.
Man, I like it. And for those who are wondering that Vince McMahon isn't a pro wrestling fan, you are dead wrong, ladies and gentlemen. That's a pretty cool top 5.
I can name yours.
All right, go for it. What you got?
Sting's number 1.
Sting's number 1.
Booker's on the list.
Booker is number 5 all time.
Flair's on the list.
No.
Wow. Savage?
Nope.
Wow. Give me an era.
Okay, so for number 4 is a current wrestler still, but he started wrestling in 1990. So he's been wrestling for 33 years.
1990.
Yep.
Is Steamboat on the list?
Number 2.
Okay.
Number 3. Number 3.
So I got 3 out of the 5 so far.
You got number 1, Sting. Number 3 is Steamboat. Number 5 is Booker. So you got 2 and 4 left.
All right. So the 1 is 1990.
Number 4 of all time.
1990. Started wrestling in 1990.
You've also worked with him very closely.
Where was he prominent? What company?
WWE for a long time. Now he's in AEW. And for those who are watching right now, put the answer in the comments right now before I say the answer.
Okay, he's wrestling AEW. It's not Christian and Edge because they were not 19. You're saying the 90s or 1990?
No, he debuted in 1990.
Okay, so it's not Christian. It's not Edge. We already got Sting on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Double J? No, it can't be Double J.
Nope.
No. I'm trying to think.
You've worked with them. You've worked with them closely, man.
Are they active wrestlers in AEW?
Actually, you didn't work with them as closely, but you were he was coming in as you were leaving.
Kurt Angle.
Nope.
Are they active wrestlers in AEW?
Active AEW wrestler, yes. Was in the WWE until a few years back.
Not Big Show.
Nope. He's right there, man. He's right there. Active wrestler, was in WWE for a long time, debuted in WWE and just left. So probably about 5 years back.
Not Billy Gunn.
Nope.
Wow.
You're
Bryan Danielson?
No. He didn't debut in 1990. He was 8 years old and 9 years old in 1990. He's right there,
Jericho.
man.
Jericho.
That's correct. Chris Jericho. Yes.
All right, so give me
That's number 4.
Give me the hint on the last one.
Oh man, I can say 2 words. You'll know what it is. So you've also worked with him in TNA. He's no longer with us. And
Animal.
No.
Oh,
That's well, the Legion of Doom is my all-time favorite tag team.
okay.
So you worked with this person. He's no longer with us, and he's a WWE Hall of Famer. And I mean, I can give you clear cut, very easy hints, but that would make it not as fun.
Now,
All right,
Kurt Hennig.
no. All right, SK Nation, go ahead and nope. Go ahead and put the answer down if you know what it is before I say it. I can give you 2 words.
Dusty.
I mean, that's correct. Dusty Rhodes. Yes.
Good list.
Number 2 of all time. So number 1, Sting. Number 2, Dusty. Number 3, Steamboat. Number 4, Jericho. Number 5, Booker T. Those are my all-time top 5.
Solid list.
Thank you. So Booker T said this when it comes to the Bloodline. He thought that the Main Event Mafia was a better faction than the Bloodline. He said Main Event Mafia was a better faction by far. But I think the Bloodline had one of the best runs any faction could ever have. Probably the best. But I just say better faction, sucker, because we had some major players and we weren't a family. We was a faction. Proper grammar would say we were a faction, but we was a faction. So here's the interesting part of all this, Vince. I was just watching every now, like TNA's videos pop up on my Facebook. They send me link, like it comes in my algorithms because I watch wrestling stuff and catch up with stuff on Facebook a lot. And one of the videos was an all-time complete chronology of the Bloodline of the Main Event Mafia. Mm-hmm. And so I got through probably half of it or so, and then just got busy and stopped watching. But it was interesting because I remember I watched TNA every single week, that entire run of the Main Event Mafia, and it was really interesting how it played out. And Booker T's part of the Main Event Mafia was absolutely hilarious. So I got 2 questions to ask you. 3 questions to ask you. 1, what are your overall thoughts on Booker T as far as the Bloodline is concerned in Main Event Mafia? 2, what hand did you play in the Main Event Mafia? And 3, who in the heck came up with, and I remember this when it happened live, and I was pleasantly refreshed by this, Booker T with a microphone doing commentary in a battle royal while he is in the ring. I thought I popped for that. That was brilliant.
1000% better than Bloodline, not even close. Wow. You had one major player in the Bloodline and a bunch of supporting roles. These guys were all freaking superstars. Not even close. I did put the Main Event Mafia together. Kevin Nash named the Main Event Mafia.
Nice.
And I am sure that I wrote in Booker T having the mic during that.
That was, and for those who needed to be refreshed, for those who never saw that, you're going to pop. You're going to be pleasantly just absolutely elated by that segment. It was absolute. I literally laughed out loud when I saw that. It was, and not a lot of things cause me to pop nowadays when it comes to wrestling, and that was a while, over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
but it was funny. It was super funny of how that happened. He was like, like he just started doing the stop.
Yeah,
it was so freaking hilarious, man. And the thing is about Booker, like he had like an English Jamaican accent.
That was
like,
all Booker. That was all. I let Booker do whatever he wanted to do, bro.
It was hilarious. It was definitely a lot of King Booker that was overlapped in the TNA gimmick. Man, it was absolutely amazing.
So, I get frustrated because I hear a lot of the guys in the Main Event Mafia say, "Oh, it could have been better. We dropped the ball. This, that, the other thing." Bro, the Main Event Mafia just didn't stop. Either somebody left, or it was contractual, or it didn't just stop. It had to do with contracts and who was leaving and who was getting paid too much and who didn't stick around. It had nothing to do with the creative.
Sure. Now, what was the end game for the Main Event Mafia? I remember it led to it was like an empty arena match between Sting and Angle. Sure, a lot of the Main Event Mafia just kind of gravitated to an angle between Kurt Angle and Sting. Like, was that the end game for the Mafia?
No, that was just a part of it. I mean, that was just. But I don't remember, bro. I honestly don't. I don't remember how it ended, but I'm sure it had to do with contracts. Because
Matt Morgan started to be a part of it. Samoa Joe was a part of it, and I like both Matt Morgan and Samoa Joe, but the kind of like the backdrop of the Main Event Mafia was former world champions, legendary figures within the business and former world champions. Book, Angle, Sting, Nash, Steiner. Yeah. And so adding Samoa Joe and Matt Morgan into the Main Event Mafia, what was the premise behind that?
Bro, I swear I don't remember.
Really?
I wish I did. I wish I did, man. I don't.
Did you have a hand in that too?
I'm sure I did. If I was there, I definitely did, but I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. I'm just wondering what the conversation was of bringing in, because I remember as a fan back then, I was like, I don't mind Joe and Morgan, as singles competitors, but just the concept of having them in the Main Event Mafia started to get overcrowded. And that's the thing with factions a lot, is that it starts to get overcrowded and starts to dilute.
I agree with that.
Bullet Club was the same way. NWO certainly was that. What do you think about, speaking of that, what do you think about DX as a whole? Do you think that DX ever got overcrowded? And SK Nation, it
was just the five. It was just the five, right?
So what? The original was Shawn Michaels, and Rick Rude. He was a part of it too, right?
I wouldn't consider him a part of it. He was like the business end of it.
But he was still a figure.
I never really considered him a part of that, though.
He was never active part of it, but he was there every week as a part of DX. So
and then the five, it never grew outside of the five.
You had, and then Michaels went out. Tripp came in as the leader, brought in the New Age Outlaws and Pac, right? And Sean Waltman and China.
That's it.
So you thought that the Shawn Michaels version or the Triple H version to you was the better version?
Man, they were both good, bro, but I probably like Shawn Hunter and China the best because it was the original.
The original, yeah. And I would definitely say the New Age Outlaws as an addition to the DX was fantastic.
Yeah,
they
was
totally fit. Yeah. And X-Pac was too. Because I think what helped X-Pac was the fact that he jumped from WCW.
Right in the middle of the war.
Yeah. So I think he was one of the first major people to jump from WCW to WWE to really bring a lot. Waltman, a lot of people sleep on the fact that Waltman had a lot to do with the pivot, from WCW to WWE as far as the wars is concerned. He had a lot to do with that because his presence, it was just the concept and the idea of WCW is not as impenetrable as you think they are, right? Mm-hmm. Like there was some contractual things going on. He was six back then when he was with NWO, and NWO was running rampant. You had the 83 weeks and stuff like that. And then of course you had the Foley thing when Tony Schiavone, spoiled the result, which unfortunately, as a psychology doctor, I wish that I would have consulted them. I would have said, don't do that, because if anything, then you have forbidden fruit effect, you have scarcity effects, you have all those psychological phenomena to cause people to want to be curious about the unknown, right?
Mhm.
And you have that anticipation, and you have the thing that's not in front of you right now, so that's going to cause you to want to grab it. So that's going to cause you to be more curious to actually see how the finish is, because you don't know it yet.
Mhm.
And so that was just a bad call. It was just a bad call for that to happen. Psychologically, it was just a bad call. But that was a pivot, and then X-Pac there was helped too. So yeah, that was a big move. So yeah, that's an interesting question as far as in SK Nation. Go ahead and when you're watching this, go ahead and put that down too. So what do you think? SK Nation, was the original DX best with Shawn, Hunter, China, and I would say Rick Rude too? Or do you think that the Hunter led DX of Hunter, the Outlaws, and Waltman, and China was the best? So